Hello. So this is the week 15 assignment, and I chose Stuntz's chapter 10, fixing a broken system, and I chose it because, well, I think it's very important to identify like why people are wrongly convicted, and I think that the chapters is very good at like identifying that and pointing out potential fixes for what kind of is wrong with the system as of now in our current time. And that kind of leads me to like the importances of fixing the broken system. And I wrote down it's important because Stuntz argues that like vague and broad laws, they give prosecutors far too much discretion, um, and that can lead to unjust and unfair trials to someone who has been either wrongly convicted or convicted of something that is just way too minor or petty. And so Stuntz argues that simplifying the law and making it less broad, the system would be more fair. Um, and this relates to a case over in New York City, Eric Garner versus New York, where Eric Garner was stopped for dealing cigarettes on the street, and it was a petty crime, but it gave the NYPD an excuse to escalate things, and so prosecutors, they over criminalized Garner for this minor offense of reselling cigarettes on the street. Um, and so that's a kind of a clear cut example of where the prosecutors kind of take things a little too far. Um, and then some other theories that might tie into fixing a broken system. Well, they're in the same chapter. I wrote them down from the same chapter, but like the what do you call it? Like the word over criminalization, which is like you have more crime or like more crimes that have been written down, will give the prosecutors more ways to exert pressure on someone who has been convicted of a crime, no matter the severity of the crime. And then another, like a concept, that's where I was trying to think of, concept, is inequality in law enforcement. And I wrote down vague laws and lesser crimes looked at, vague laws and lesser crimes are looked at harsher, and these are usually used against people of marginalized communities. And I wrote down the quote, laws banning violent felonies are underenforced in black neighborhoods, but drug crimes in those same neighborhoods are punished too frequently and too harshly. And you can find that on page 88. So I think it's very important to identify where we are currently kind of sort of going wrong in our current law system, what we are doing too harshly and what we are doing that doesn't make the system necessarily fair, and that's sort of why I chose it.